All right, everyone. Let's start this webinar. Thank you so much for joining us. We're very, very excited for today's webinar. We had a lot of registrants, so hopefully it's going to be a great webinar for all of you. I'm Giulia Rastelli. I'm the marketing manager here at Cloves. I'll be introducing this webinar pretty quick. This is the agenda, so a little bit of housekeeping. I'm going to introduce Cloves pretty quick, one slide, no more. And then I'm going to pass the ball to Omar, our technical consultant, that will talk about Jakarta, the latest upgraded ServiceNow release. At the very end, we're going to have a Q&A session. So write down your questions, and at the end of the webinar, we're going to answer them all. So the webinar has been recorded. So if you have to leave, if you miss something, don't worry, we're going to send it to you after the webinar is over. As I said, the Q&A is at the very end, so you're muted right now. So if you need to talk to us, use the question section or the chat in your GoToWebinar control panel. I will read them if it's something urgent, like I can hear you, or there's like you're breaking in the webinar. We're gonna answer right away. If it's a question regarding the webinar and the content, we're gonna answer it at the very end. For anything else, just email me, giulia@closing.com or at sales at closing.com, and we're going to answer and reply to you as soon as we can. Two fun things or nice things you should check out is social media, our Facebook and LinkedIn, and the Cloves YouTube channel. All the webinars and our videos are on the YouTube channel, and Facebook and LinkedIn are the platform we use to update you with new things, new events, new webinars. So please like us there, check the Cloves YouTube channel. All right, closing. I don't know how many of you knows us, but pretty quick, we are a ServiceNow partner since 2011. We're based in Santa Clara, California, right next to the ServiceNow office, and we are a full ServiceNow shop. With this year, we met the milestone of 150 customers, and our group is growing. Right now, we are over 45 consultants all over the world, and therefore we are able to execute projects globally. If you have more question about closing, please email me. Okay, this is a very short presentation. So these are the services we cover. But mostly this year, 2017 focus is customer service management, end user portal, service portal, and HR. So if you're interested in that, please email me because we have very cool portals and demos to show to you. All right, so Omar, this is your time. I'm not gonna take more time. Let me make you the presenter. All right, and now the stage is yours.
Thank you, Julia. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. Perfect.
Okay, perfect. So again, thank you, Julia, and thank you everyone for joining. With the Jakarta release, which is ServiceNow's newest release, there are a lot of really cool enhancements to not only the existing applications, but also some new features that I will briefly touch on. Just to kind of recap what Julia said, at least regarding me, my name is Omar Hamid. I'm a technical consultant working with Cloves, and I am currently based out of San Francisco, California. Some of the different things that I will cover on the Jakarta platform are the performance in UX. So there are some enhancements there. The intelligent automation engine, which was actually introduced in Jakarta, there's some really cool stuff going on there. And then the cloud management portal, different ways to manage your your cloud stack. There are some enhancements to the customer service application as well as HR. And then there are some cool security things that they're working on, as well as some other various things that I'll touch on, including software asset management, the automated testing framework, the SLA timeline, vendor risk management, and then Service 360. So just jumping right in. Again, the three main areas that I'll be covering are the performance and UX, the IT automation, intelligence automation, and then the expanded capabilities for the already existing applications. So jumping into the performance and UX, with ServiceNow, with the Jakarta upgrade, the forms actually load up to 37% faster, and lists will actually load up to 25% faster. So I know this is a big thing. I've worked with a lot of people who have had complaints about either slow list loads or slow form loads. So with the enhanced technology within Jakarta, those forms and the performance of the overall platform is actually much faster. Of course, that's going to vary by customer, but the moral of that story is that it's moving faster and is only going to get better as more things come out. Just jumping into some other of the UX enhancements. So one of the big things that a lot of our customers use are surveys, and typically, or they've been quite bulky and kind of tough to use, at least for the end user. So there is now actually a service portal widget for survey and assessment, which lets users take the assessment right in the service portal. A lot of times we've seen customers that might want to use third-party tools like SurveyMonkey or other survey applications because of their more modern UI and capabilities. But essentially what these improvements will enable customers to do is consolidate surveys and assessments within the ServiceNow platform. So it provides the ability to assign the same assessment to multiple people. You can assign questions based on user roles, and there's a lot of performance enhancements and improvements for the survey and quiz designer. And not to mention here that you can use pagination for long surveys and assessments so that you can switch through the different surveys or switch through the different pages within the same portal. And then another really cool feature is the guided tour designer. So similar to if you were building a new application and you needed to put in some annotations to kind of guide the designer through the different parts of the page. This guided tour designer allows us to go in and actually build a tour for our end users. So when we roll out, let's say, incident, for example, to the entire organization, a lot of times the end user has never seen the ServiceNow platform. Your customers might not know exactly where to click or what to do, and they might not even be aware of a lot of the functionality that sits at their fingertips. So what this guided tour designer allows us to do is go in and really build out kind of like a virtual tour. You can put in little notes that say click here, and kind of virtualize the whole tour experience. It really accelerates the adoption of new forms for reports and apps. And really by providing this customized step-by-step guidance, users are able to really reduce the learning curve and be instantly productive. They can be created across multiple aspects of the system, including by user role, multiple page processes, and can even do multiple topics per page. And then the playback, you can always play back these tours in the embedded help section. And just a note, this is included with the core platform, so it'll be enabled by default when you upgrade. And then moving into the intelligent automation engine. So this is something that debuts in Jakarta, which really opens the door for bringing machine learning to everyday work especially in ServiceNow. Some of the features that this automation engine bring to Jakarta include benchmarks, which allows comparison against industry peers. There's a few more KPIs that are included with the benchmarks application, so you can kind of, and I'll briefly touch on this one as we go forward. And then there's anomaly detection with operational intelligence and performance predictions with advanced forecasting. The key here with this automation, this intelligent automation engine, is that it really opens the door for a lot of adaptive technologies as not only with Jakarta, but moving forward. There's going to be things like predictive modeling that help with automated categorization and routing of tasks. And there's going to be a lot of opportunities for really enhanced experiences with ServiceNow with regard to the way that we can leverage automation and machine learning. So just jumping into the benchmarks tool. So some of you might already be using benchmarks. This lets you know how you're performing relative to your peers. It provides industry averages, trends over time, and is regularly updated. The first 6 ITSM KPIs were released in Istanbul, but a lot of people wanted a lot more, and they needed the ability to configure the KPIs. So with benchmarks in Jakarta, there is the opportunity for customers to configure the KPIs and make the data more relevant. And there are, I think, I want to say 7 or maybe 10 more KPIs that come out of the box with this benchmarks in Jakarta. And as you can see, it kind of gives you that card view of the KPIs as well. And you can also have the list view of a chart showing performance over the last 6 months, and allows customers to track their performance over time. Then jumping into the operational intelligence. So what this is basically a new application which is available for IT operations management. It utilizes analytics to proactively identify anomalies in a customer's IT landscape. So by identifying these anomalies before an event occurs, it allows the IT teams to actually take action and prevent outages. IT really wants to change from being reactive in solving service outages to becoming proactive with prevention. And with this IT intelligent automation engine and this operational intelligence, it's really a step in that direction towards becoming more proactive and actually preventing some of these anomalies from happening. And then with performance analytics, just how the intelligent automation engine is driving some of the features or functionality in performance analytics. It introduces advanced forecasting, which helps you kind of see into the future. It automatically generates a forecast line to help make better decisions with predictive trending based on real-time adaptive machine learning algorithms. And it lets you add personal targets and sends email notifications for when you're supposed to meet your target. So the key there is that forecast line, which is automatically generated based on the different statistics which you offer. And then we have the cloud management. So this is something that a lot of companies are faced with managing their cloud services across both public and private clouds, which, to reduce risk and ensure compliance to company policies. Um, ServiceNow recognized that these companies need to empower their cloud service users with the ability to acquire what they need, kind of in a self-service manner, and really have the ability to manage the full life cycle of the services. So this cloud management portal really opens the door to allow users to efficiently manage their budgets and quotas and have easy access to any additional or to any assistance they might need with regard to their cloud stack. The improved cloud management solution that's included with Jakarta, excuse me, comes from IP acquired with ITAP, which ServiceNow recently acquired. And with that, the cloud management offering enables companies to easily create a cloud service catalog that will provide these end users with access to the resources they need. And this cloud portal, as you can, and I'll jump into a demo briefly at the end, but the functionality here is similar to the service portal for your end users. This allows also a specific cloud portal to go in and manage your different cloud stacks. And then the cloud blueprint designer, similar to service mapping or business services mapping. This allows you to go in and adjust the blueprint of your different cloud services, how they interact with each other, and that sort of thing. And then cloud cost dashboard, which is where you'll see a lot of benefit coming out of this cloud management platform. What this allows is really automatically centralizing all the billing information from across public and private cloud accounts. It really gives you a complete picture of the resources spending. And once consolidated, the IT planners can easily view their costs in its entirety, which helps with cost analysis and to help better understand how to improve the allocation of cloud resources. So now jumping into some of the updates with the customer service platform. One of the new applications introduced with Jakarta is communities. So essentially what this is an application which it provides an online space for companies to bring customers and partners together to allow them to interact with each other as well as the company. So essentially, if I'm a customer of if I'm one of your guys' customers, I have this, and you have communities launched, and I have the opportunity to go into this community platform or this community portal, and it's kind of treated like a forum board. So I can go in and post questions, of course, based on the roles that you provide. I can search for answers. I can look at different topics, and there's various content types which are supported, including questions, blogs, videos, and more as time goes on. But this will be really helpful, not only for your customers, but also for you, because it also gives more insight for those customer service, or for you as customer service customers, to be able to see a lot where your customers' pain points are, and then provide another entryway into being able to resolve their issues, and also make your service better all at the same time. So this communities application is really cool, and I think it's going to go pretty far with this. The customer service application now integrates with the cost transparency application. So typically, well, I mean, always driving down costs is something of great importance, and it's often a requirement in service organizations. And what this does is goes beyond just a profit and loss analysis in the service center. It'll actually raise visibility to different cost drivers and make it possible to answer questions like which products, product version, product line costs the most to support. And it really lets us have visibility into cost allocated to different groups or products or staffing. What are the costs of labor, expenses? What are the costs of parts for field service? It really, this cost transparency, customer service integration really helps us to understand and answer a lot of those questions. Even is this service contract billable project work profitable? Those sort of things. So it really provides a lot of insight with regard to the costs associated with our customer service management. So with regard to field service management, time and skills management updates, there is a team calendar which allows a manager to see the team members' planned activities, giving them a picture of what the entire team is doing. From the calendar, they can open an activity to view the details. This includes dynamic scheduling, which allows to reassign higher priority jobs and improves upon assignment scheduling by optimizing assignments within the available time windows for technicians and minimizing their travel times. It also permits multiple tasks to be assigned to different agents at the same time with the ability to prioritize tasks while assigning. And then also with questionnaires, it allows for the agent to collect required task information. So while performing that field service, technicians might be required to get information or to follow some kind of step-by-step procedure or confirm some kind of task. And the questionnaires feature makes all of that possible. So the enhancements for customer service management as it relates to knowledge management. So knowledge management will be more tightly integrated with the portal. It provides a much more cohesive experience. This approach will help the customers more quickly identify what might potentially be a problem. So by integrating and making it more cohesive, we're able to provide our customers with the answers so that they can actually help themselves. And another cool thing is this kind of integrates with the whole community's application. So now knowledge-based customer service and communities all have, whether they're posting a problem that was already solved or a question to something that might not be solved, it can all that information and knowledge can be shared in one place. So jumping into some of the updates with the human resources management tool. With Jakarta, there's enterprise onboarding and transitions. A lot of, and I've seen a lot of places that have really customized this whole solution. A lot of times that's bulky and doesn't do well with upgrades. But what this does is provide the ability to create new activity sets. So for example, pre-hire or pre-boarding or day one. So all of these things need to happen for pre-hire and all of these things need to happen for pre-boarding. And it allows us to assign individual activities around each activities set. So for example, the pre-hire activity set might require background check, I-9 completion, set up office, set up payroll, and then for day one, we might have to give them a laptop. And those are the different tasks which we're able to delineate per activity set, which really helps us to streamline the whole onboarding process. And onboarding is just an example of where we can use this enterprise onboarding and transitions application. It also works for offboarding, employee location changes, promotions, and organization changes. So one of the problems that we've come across a lot recently is the fact that a lot of customers are using a non-scoped version of the HR tool in ServiceNow. And a lot of the new features, well, all of the new features in HR are being developed in a scoped app. So there was no clear path or clear, easy way for customers or users who are on the non-scoped HR app to move over to the scoped app. There was a lot of manual work involved to make that happen, and sometimes it would deter people from even upgrading. What Jakarta offers is a new plugin to assist in the migration of data from global tables to the new scoped tables. It includes functions like content mapping, schema changes, data migration, and roles migration. So it really makes it easier for users to go from the non-scoped app to the scoped newer versions of the HR tool in ServiceNow. So another feature that Jakarta offers is editable, personalized PDF forms. So what this allows us to do is go paperless, or at least start working towards going paperless, and streamline with these editable, personalized PDFs and electronic signatures. By mapping, the HR can create these editable, personalized PDF forms. It's a mouthful. Editable, personalized PDF forms by mapping fields in a fillable PDF to fields in a case table with an employee or new hires information already pre-populated. So we're able to map fields from a form to an actual PDF. And we are also able to capture electronic signatures with this application. Something important to note, so it only supports electronic signatures, not digital signatures. I know a lot of companies might require that distinction. An electronic signature, unlike a digital signature, does not use or embed a unique digital fingerprint like a digital signature would. So if there's a risk associated with that within your company, just be aware of the fact that it's electronic signatures, not digital. And then bulk case creation. So there's a lot of situations that require agents to create the same type of case for multiple employees. For example, if 20 people are being onboarded for payroll to run an issue, for an annual recertification process, these processes are something that require the same type of case to be created for multiple employees. So in the way it works today is each of those cases need to be generated or created individually. So And obviously, with creating the same case individually for multiple employees, it becomes very time consuming and inefficient. So with this new upgrade, we are able to enable HR to select a group of employees and create a case for each group. They can tie these agents can tie these cases together if they want to report on them as a group or fulfill them individually. So this will be really helpful for some of those HR agents who have to go in and do that mundane work of creating a bunch of different cases for the same issue. So now jumping into security. One of the cool things with regarding security on Jakarta is the trusted security circles. Because common groups are often hit with the same attacks, threat intelligence sharing allows organizations to work together to share highly relevant threat information within their groups. ServiceNow has kind of taken this concept of threat intelligence sharing and added automation as well as the option of anonymity. So this shared intelligence provides actionable data in real time for faster security response. So what Trusted Security Circles does is allow security teams to anonymously share observable data with industry peers or members of their supply chain or a global circle of ServiceNow users. It allows people to basically so like, for example, if when data from multiple circles is compared, they might start recognizing patterns and be able to identify targeted attacks against a specific group or industry. And as always, the sooner those sort of things get identified, the sooner they can be fixed or remedied or prevented. And then another, with Jakarta, there's a bunch more third-party integrations with regard to security and event management with CrowdStrike, Falcon, Carbon Black, McAfee, and ArcSight. And then another pretty nifty thing is the Instant Security Dashboard. It essentially provides admins an easily centralized view of how compliant they are with recommended best practices for securing their instance. So a little separate from the actual security application, but this is more for the for you as ServiceNow users to understand where you stand against best practices and where you might have breaches or weak areas in your instance that could be improved upon. And then just jumping into some of the random enhancements, we have software asset management, which is actually now a standalone product. What this does is allows the users to keep license compliance at their fingertips. It really displays all of the historical consumption patterns combined with current costs associated with the services being consumed, and also forecasted service consumption patterns. So it really delivers end of period statements to business units. So it allows us to see transparency within our software usage, the different licenses, helps us to true up the entitlements before an audit occurs, and really allows us to get a handle on our software assets, which, as I'm sure you're not surprised, is not something very common in the industry. And then vendor risk management. It's a new application for the GRC offering, which delivers a system of engagement to manage vendor stakeholder relationships. It efficiently automates cross-functional processes and manages risks throughout the vendor management lifecycle. It continuously monitors, uh, mitigates, and remediates risks in these vendor ecosystems. And then there are some enhancements with the SLA timeline. It allows us, it's color coded, so it allows us to see the status, helps us to visualize and display all the SLAs that are attached to a related task. It allows us to understand how an SLA kind of evolved through the life cycle of that related task, and also understand the significance related tasks, related task events that led to state or state changes in these SLAs. And of course, it helps with troubleshooting SLAs and understanding why one of them might not have been triggered. So something that's really helpful with Jakarta is the automated testing framework. This is a tool which allows us to actually write out test scripts, which was available before with the test management suite. But what this allows us to do is automate those test scripts. So similar to how one might set up browser testing for a newly created application, we can go in and identify the steps not only at the client level, but also at the server level. So it allows us to test the forms, the form fields, the different attributes of those form fields at the client level, and then on the server level, we're able to actually test the scripts, the business rules, and actually record all of those test results in one place. We're able to go in and build a test, individual tests, as well as test suites, and we can run those tests individually, or we can run them as a test suite. This will be especially helpful as people upgrade, or as you guys upgrade. I know one of the biggest problems whenever an upgrade happens is the fact that not everything was tested with the new technology, the new version. So you might have already set up different test cases or test suites, but with this application, we're now able to automate those and not have to have our end users take up time to manually go in and run those mundane test scripts. And finally, Service 360. This is really an extension of the service portfolio management. What it does is provides a single view of the business service performance across an organization for different business processes such as operation, risk, investment, and finance. So what it does, it really allows for a nice dashboard or view for executives to go in and see how their services relate or are interacting with our operation. So here, these are what this screenshot is showing is how many open incidents are related to each of these business services. So this might be something that is very useful for our executives to be able to answer the questions. Are my services operational? Are they cost effective? Are they governed and secure? And this tool answers those questions through two separate really reporting layers. First being a dynamic tree map, which renders all the business services across the entire organization. It uses a score from a specific category and an indicator in that category. And then the actual dashboard, which is a scorecard that uses performance analytics to render reports from key performance indicators to provide a true 360 degree view into a single business service. So, Julia, do we have any questions?
Yes, we have a lot of questions.
Okay, so then I will stop there and
Okay. Let me
allow
read
time
them for you. So, let's start from the first one that says the loading of lists and forms of 37% and 25% faster would be how many rows of data are being loaded.
So I don't know the exact amount of how many rows are being calculated, but I do know that those numbers were calculated from requests for representative problem, incident, and change lists, and it was across a number of different instances. So it measures the time to complete rendering, meaning the page is done and ready to use, not just the delivery of the HTML. And that those numbers are improvements from Istanbul to Jakarta. So if you're on an even later version, then you'll probably see even faster loading times. And
Okay.
obviously the gains will vary by customer.
All right, that was Chad Peterson that asked this question. The second question is it is cloud billing report. I don't know what was this for, but yeah, that was a question.
It is cloud billing report.
Yes.
So I don't really understand the question there, but I can touch on the fact that there is a as I discussed with the cloud management the cloud management portal. There is the solution that automatically centralizes on that cloud cost dashboard, which centralizes the billing information from across all the public and private cloud accounts. It centralizes details on applications, services, compute utilization, data usage, network loads, and all that information related to your cloud stack. So it allows you to really see the costs associated with all things cloud as it relates to your organization. Hopefully that answered the question somewhere in there.
Perfect. Hillary. Oh, sorry.
Like how this guy just decided to mow the lawn right now. Hopefully that's not too bothersome for you. Was that all the questions, Julia?
questions, please email me. I'm gonna send you my email right now. So please email me, and we're gonna answer all those questions as soon as we receive them by email. Okay. Thank you so much, guys, for attending this webinar today. I hope you found it interesting and useful, and I hope to see you all next month. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Julia.